The Iranian protests have now spread to all 31 provinces in Iran. Over 100 cities, nearly 50 universities, widespread strikes. Massive numbers of people have taken to the streets, and on the spectrum from protest to uprising to revolution, Iran is deeply into the uprising stage right now. And with some assistance of, let's say, U.S. strikes, this could very soon transition to an outright revolution. And here we are 3 weeks into the uprising. It's been remarkable in what it's achieved so far, but no group can sustain its energy indefinitely. And the regime has increased its lethal counterattacks on the crowds, killing, by some reports, somewhere around 12,000 Iranian citizens. Time is of the essence. We have the best window of opportunity right now to bring this patron of global Islamist terror to its knees. Joining us today is an old friend, Abdullah Mohtadi, leader of Komala in Iran. Welcome aboard, Mr. Mohtadi.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Can you bring us up to speed on the current situation on the ground inside Iran?
General, the 12-day war with Israel laid bare the weaknesses of the Iranian regime, and they destroyed their deterrence. They destroyed their proxy forces in Lebanon, in Gaza, in Syria. Assad fell. So they are defenseless now. They are at their weakest point. One major factor was the economy is in ruins in Iran. Something that triggered the demonstrations this time was sharp fluctuations of the currency and plummeting the Iranian rial in Tehran. So it started as a protest, but it soon became an uprising. Protests became huge demonstrations, hundreds of thousands. The government is not capable of providing the basic services into the country. The maximum pressure policy of President Trump has worked. The only thing that still keeps them in power is their security forces. And that's something for the Americans, for the Israelis, for the international community. We need support.
And we need support. We need it. This is in the American interest. This is in the interest of all of the West and of humanity in general. 1979, Tehran birthed modern global jihadist terror. We've lived with that for nearly 50 years. Imagine the great good that would come from a post-Islamic regime Iran.
Let the Iranians choose a democratic, pluralist, free government in Iran, and you will see that United States will have the best ally in the region. This will put an end, or at least severely weaken the Islamist terrorist groups in the whole Middle East, or even in Europe and the United States. They spent the Iranian people's money that should be spent on their welfare. They're giving them in tens of billions of dollars to Hezbollah, to Hamas, to Houthis in Yemen. They're delusional. They want to build a Shiite empire in the whole region, destabilize and topple the Arab governments, annihilate Israel, and keep Americans out of the region. So they're a menace not only to the Iranian people and also to the world.
Mr. Mohtadi, what can you tell us about Komala's capabilities, including its Peshmerga?
General, we were the first political party in 1979 who proposed to boycott the Sham referendum, and Khomeini took revenge for that. In August 1979, he ordered a big onslaught against Kurds, unprovoked. So we started the resistance then. For a decade, we had quite a big armed struggle inside Iranian Kurdistan. It took a year for the government to impose its rule in Kurdistan, and even then, not completely. So we moved our camps into inside Iraqi Kurdistan. For recent years, we have not been engaging in armed struggle because we wanted to give the political movement a chance. Even in 2022, when we had a big mass movement in Kurdistan, it was a protest movement. It was called Woman Life Freedom Movement. We were perhaps the most active in organizing the movement and spreading it out to other parts of Iran. With the start of that movement, the regime started to shoot missiles and drones and attacked our camps, but we showed restraint. We had the Kurdish coalition at that time. We called it the Cooperation Center of Kurdish Parties. We decided to show restraint. We didn't fight back with armed forces because we wanted to give people a chance to grow the movement, grow it peacefully. Now we have still the basis, we have the capacity to arm thousands of people if the times come and if you are supported.
And yet you've got political capabilities as well and a political vision. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, the Kurdish parties have been very successful, including ourselves, in organizing mass protests. We have had many general strikes in Kurdistan. In Kurdistan is 4 provinces. You can paralyze the whole system with general strikes if it is spread enough to all parts of the country.
What is needed from the USA right now?
We are very grateful for the support that President Trump and the U.S. administration has provided. I mean, in terms of encouraging people to stay in the movement and threatening the Iranian authorities, that's good. But we need more than that. We need actions. We need humanitarian support. We need medical support. We need internet facilities. And also, at a certain stage, we need more than that. The government is bankrupt. They cannot change the lives of people. They don't govern people. They just control them. The only strong point that is still in their hand is their security forces, their revolutionary guards. So do something about them. This will hugely encourage people to remain in the streets and to take matters in their own hand.
Mr. Mohtadi, I'd like to ask you about your predictions for the future. What do you think is likely to unfold over the near term and midterm?
We have witnessed in recent days the deadliest massacre Iran have witnessed in its recent history. This is a big crime against humanity. The perpetrators must be punished. The problem is the capacity of the people, their energy, they cannot sustain it forever. And the brutality is unprecedented. What we need is getting united. Every movement has its own ups and downs. Don't be disheartened when you see that the movement is less at the peak now than 2-3 days ago. But people will settle accounts with the regime in months, if not in weeks. After this massacre, after this big revolution, there will be no compromise. They cannot govern as they did for the past 4-5 decades.
Yeah, I think the regime is incapable of reform. I think that's clear. The regime completely has to be brought to the ground for meaningful change to occur.
Yes, you're right. There was a time when people believed that the regime can be reformed, and they believed in gradual reform, which could be useful if it was practical, but it was not. The Constitution denies the right of self-determination for people to choose their government. It said it's been arranged by Allah and people cannot change it. So you cannot change the structure of the country. And the Pastaran or the Revolutionary Guards, they control everything. They control not only the military aspect of the regime, but also they have big business. They have lands, they have airports, they have ports. They own everything in Iran, and they are very corrupt, and they are not ready to leave. They are not ready for free and fair elections because they know how dissatisfied people are. It is very important for us to take millions to the streets, not hundreds of thousands, but millions and millions to the street. And perhaps more important than ever, that we have international support. We are at a critical juncture now in Iran.
What type of political structure should Iran have in the next phase of its history after the toppling of the Islamic regime?
Iran, in my opinion, should have a free, democratic power sharing or a kind of decentralized or federal system established in Tehran where the rights of Kurds and other ethnic minorities are also protected and respected by the constitution.
Can you think of anything politically that the United States needs to do right now?
Yes. meet with the Iranian opposition, not just with one person. Especially, I'm stressing on meet the Kurds. The Kurds consider themselves to be allies of the United States, and this gives a big boost of morale for the Kurdish and the Iranian opposition.
Mr. Mohtadi, what a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to share with us your thoughts on the Iranian uprising.